Hey, it's me, AP, aka Mr. Movie Cheer, and welcome back to another episode of Quick Topics, the show where I go through a few different movie related quick topics, movie reviews, movie collecting, movies, TV shows, and just answer them as quick as I can. Hence the Quick Topics title, ladies and gents. So let's get into it. First of all, 6 topics as always. Let's go for this. First topic, Last of Us. The first episode of Last of Us debuted recently. I've seen the first episode. I've not seen the second one as of yet. But I wanted to really talk about Last of Us, that debut episode, that premiere episode, versus other shows' debut episodes. So, The Last of Us, what does it compare against other debut episodes of other TV shows? First of all, I'll say this. I mentioned it on the main podcast show. I watched that first episode and I thought it was absolutely brilliant. I always think, you can only really just judge something upon seeing the whole thing, seeing a whole series, whole season of something, then you get an idea of this is a solid show. Going off that first episode though, it was a great first episode, but I do think it's one of those where a lot of big shows and big budget shows do have that first episode nailed on, and they are pretty spectacular. But also, some of them are not really that good. I think I'll be honest with you, the Lord of the Rings TV show, I couldn't get into that, and that first episode for me should have been like this big, spectacular, just like really sucked you in straight away. And I'm sure it did for some people. For me, I didn't get that feeling. For me, some of the best TV show debuts, I think. I'm just like looking through some of my favorite shows. I think Lost is still just one of them incredible shows, and I think the debut of that show was still looking back at it. People who were born after that, when it come on, I seriously, it was in the papers, everyone was talking about it. Lost was massive, absolutely massive at the time, and I still love that show. And I think that was like one of the biggest debuts. And for me, just watching it was just a great show. I do think though, I think Mandalorian for me in recent years has been one of the best shows, and I know Pedro Pascal stars in Last of Us and The Mandalorian, but I think Last of Us was great, but for me, The Mandalorian season 1, episode 1, that was great. Seeing the first time a live action Star Wars TV show, seeing a completely new character, and like the ending of that first episode as well. I just thought it was a great episode, a really great debut, and I think to me that is one of the best debuts. Now, looking at it now, just in hindsight, and just looking back at all them different shows, I think The Mandalorian is my favourite, and I think Last of Us is great, and I can't wait to see more of this show. But yeah, Mandalorian for me is chef's kiss. Let's get on to topic number 2. Topic number 2 is top 3 films of 2023. What have we got? We got, for me, these are my personal preferences. I think everyone's going to be different. I will say, first of all, an honourable mention of this movie, Chippendale Rescue Rangers. That movie was a surprise hit for me. It's not in my top 3, but I will say that movie was really fun to watch. Like I said, I remember having memories of watching that show as a kid, but not like I wasn't like hardcore into it. But I do remember watching it vaguely now. But yeah, I watched that film. I thought it was really fun, entertaining movie. I thought the story was really good. It was kind of like a meta movie, because it was talking about the TV show the characters did, the Chippendale characters, but then they were outside of the characters. So it was quite fun. I really enjoyed that movie, and we got Ugly Sonic in that movie as well, which is awesome. But yeah, top 3 for this year. I was looking back at the movies, and I don't know whether 2022 was like the best year of movies. It wasn't like there was tons of standouts, but there was a few solid ones. And I think for me, number 3 has got to be The Batman. I thought it was a good Batman movie. Don't get me wrong, I still prefer. I think Christian Bale ones are, for me, still my favourites, and I'm going to have to see more of this trilogy of Batman movies from Robert Pattinson. First of all, to really, judge later on whether the Nolan ones are as good or the Pattinson movies are better than the Christian Bale ones. But yeah, number 3, The Batman, I thought it was a really good movie, a new incarnation of that character. And I felt like they did something different. I thought the Penguin was just like great, absolutely great. The Penguin character in that movie was solid. I wasn't, looking back now, and I always think you always do change your views. And I don't know what my initial opinion was this, but the it was the villain? It was the Riddler, wasn't it? It wasn't great. I don't think the Riddler was that good. I'll be honest with you. I thought the Riddler could have been. To me, I watched it back recently. I think the Riddler in that movie was just they were trying to do Heath Ledger Joker again. I felt like it was just trying to do that for me, just like this psychopathic character, and it just felt, I don't know, it felt a bit too much like Heath Ledger Joker 2.0, and it just didn't feel fresh. It didn't feel like anything new for me, and I think that's why I just didn't really connect that much with that villain. Looking back on it now, and I'm gonna have to watch like the podcast I did at the time to see what my initial opinions were, because maybe I was all up for that character at first and thought it was a 10 out of 10 performance. But yeah, looking back, I think I just see Joker 2.0 with that character, but still in my top 3, and that's 3rd place. Number 2 has got to be Top Gun Maverick. I think I maybe watched bits of the first one years ago. I think I did watch the first one years ago, and I just didn't think much of it. And I know it's like a cult classic movie for a lot of people. A lot of people love that film. But I didn't watch it at the cinema. I watched it at home, Top Gun Maverick, but I thought it was a great movie. And then I even went back to the first Top Gun and enjoyed that just as much. And I think they're very similar movies, but yeah, both really good movies. But Maverick was great. The visuals were stunning. And, I think I'd watch another one. I'd watch another Top Gun if they do one. I'm sure they will now because it's done really good numbers. And if they get the right story as well. But yeah, I thought it was a really, really good film, that one. And number 1, it's got to be Doctor Strange 2 in the Multiverse of Madness. I absolutely love this movie. I thought it was really entertaining. Sure, I would have liked to have seen maybe a few more cameos. I think we were all expecting a few more things in there. We didn't get them eventually, but I think what we got on screen, I think the expectations of that movie were super, super high. And I think this is the thing, it was like that first step into that multiverse. And I think we were just all doing these dream scenarios, because I certainly was, as a fan of films, of Marvel films. We're going to see Wolverine, we're going to see this character. And, I think a lot of us then, we didn't see the characters we wanted to see, the cameos, the appearances. And maybe, I think the problem with that movie as well, what maybe spoiled it a bit somewhat, was the amount of footage and teaser trailers they put out. And I think this is a problem now with a lot, like the new Ant-Man movie, they're doing it now. It's coming out next month in February. I am not watching any more trailers now because they're releasing footage after footage, and I'm like, I don't want to see any more. I don't want to spoil anything for myself. I just want to go in and watch the movie now, because Doctor Strange 2, that was just crazy, the amount of footage they put out before and the spoilers. It was just like, come on, just save a bit for us when we get to the cinema for that first viewing, or for when we're watching it at home for that first viewing. But yeah, Doctor Strange 2 was definitely, for me, number 1, 2022. Did I say at the start 2020? I've got in my notes here, top films of 2023. Top films of 2022. Yeah, I made a mistake. I apologise. But yeah, that's my top 3 for 2023. Now I'm going to go to thoughts on a TV show. And this was a question put in the comments on the Movie Chair Podcast YouTube channel from Movie Fan Jay. And I just want to say thank you to Jay for this topic, this question idea. I thought, let's put it, I said I was going to answer it, and I thought, let's do it on a quick topics. And he wanted my thoughts on Breaking Bad as a whole, as a TV show as a whole, because he was a fan of that show as well. And I will say, Jay, I think it is, honestly, I've got the box set down here. I don't know if this is the one you've got. I don't know if it was DVD you mentioned you had, but I got this a few years ago. I can't remember where I got that from. I think it was like Asda, or I think maybe... So just had the box set on screen if you listen to the audio only version. But yeah, the DVD box set, great box set there. Great show. I remember watching that first... I never watched it when it initially come on. I watched it maybe a year or two. Maybe it was like 3 or 4 seasons in before I started watching it. And I watched that first season. And I think that first season is a bit hard to get into. I think it's a very slow season, and you're sort of getting introduced to them characters. But I think after season one, sorry, that show really picks up, and it really is just a well-written show. The characters are great, superb acting, and yeah, for me, there's a lot of great shows out there that I enjoy, but then sometimes the ending is not quite up to, that performance that you want it to be. Breaking Bad was solid all the way through, absolutely solid. Apart from that, like I said, the first season a bit of a slow start, but the ending, that last episode, oh, absolutely. I mean, one of my favorite endings of all time. I think it was just perfect ending. I know they've done stuff since, like the El Camino movie, the spin-off movie, and like obviously Better Call Saul. But I don't think they've ruined that ending with whatever they've done afterwards. I think they've kept it nice. They've really, and the fact they've not done any like revival or anything with like Breaking Bad, I think is a wise move because it was such a great show, and I really enjoy it, Jay. And yeah, great question, movie fan Jay. Thank you very much, buddy. Next quick topic I want to discuss is 2023 movie room goals. I think we've all got our movie room, whatever space it may be a large space, a small space. I got a fairly small space here to work with, but it's a movie room. Movie room goals though for 2023. I've been thinking about this recently. I think for me, I want to obviously I film in here. I want to kind of create more. What I'd like to do is create like a bit of more of a different set. I think for 2023, like moving throughout the year, changing things around a bit maybe. That'd be cool. But I also I'm looking into buying some VHS just to decorate the room as well. Get some VHS, not a ton of them, but there's certain ones, like certain artwork covers that I really enjoy. And I think I'm just going to keep on browsing to see something I really like and get some, just put them, decorate them around the room. Maybe make like a little, like a box frame, something like that. I think that'd be cool. But just really just want to get that vibe of like a video shop, like a 90s, like 90s video shop vibe I have in my brain that I used to go to, and just like create that within my movie room. Just a bit of that, just a tiny bit of that. Create the movie cheer video shop in the movie room. But yeah, that's my goals for the movie room this year. Just to make it more and more like last year. It's like little things. I got the autographs in here, a few of the movie autographs. I think it's just adding a few little things every so often, just to make it more of a movie room and just more of the movies you enjoy and get that around in the space. I think that's cool. But that's the goals for this year. Just small little steps to making little changes, and just making a room that I'm really happy with and that I can enjoy my movies in. Disney buying WWE. Now you're thinking, is this really a movie related topic? Well, I will say the way I'm going to approach this will be a movie related topic, ladies and gents. So WWE now, World Wrestling Entertainment, if you don't know what WWE is, they are in the process of selling the company, and there's been a few different companies, like parent companies, who are out there to buy it, and nothing's been signed, sealed, and delivered as of yet, as far as we know. But Disney have been rumoured to be one of the companies who are willing to and looking into buying WWE. And I think, first of all, I think it's great because I think it'll be good for the product. I think it's a good company. Disney have done well by Star Wars, in my opinion. No matter how you feel about the movie, the recent movies, I think they've done a really good job on the TV show, like TV side of things, and the movies haven't been that bad. But if they buy WWE, first of all, I think the product will always be supported. I think it's in a good place. But I was thinking to myself this: I would love to see then like WWE movies like based upon like the characters like The Undertaker, and looking at that character, or maybe doing like spin-off shows with that character, or doing some biopics on some famous wrestlers, like your Ric Flairs, your Mick Foley's, I was going to say the Rock. He's already got that Young Rock TV show, but I think it'd be great because you've got that output to do like them sort of movies and TV shows based upon WWE characters. And you're watching the podcast for a few times over, you'll know I'm a big WWE fan, big wrestling fan. I got the World Championship behind me, the WCW big gold belt here. And I think it would be great. I think it would be really cool to see. I mean, we might even then get crossovers with other Disney products as well. Like, I don't know what it may be, like cartoons of like, you know, think of it maybe like Star Wars meets WWE crossover, something bizarre like that. Imagine it, The Undertaker versus Darth Vader. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking there's so many possibilities with Disney. I think it would be such a great location for WWE to go to personally. But yeah, I hope it happens. I really do. Movie watching goals for 2023. What are my movie watching goals for 2023? Well, the idea for me is to keep on going backwards and watching classic movies I've never watched. Sean from Media Collector Madness, he said, like, at the start of this year, he's doing a list of movies and he's writing every movie down. And, I'm doing the exact same thing. I'm taking Sean's advice, and I've always done lists for things that I want to watch. Like I've got a top, like a list of movies to watch. But this year, for the first time, I'm writing down every single new movie that I'm watching, and I'm writing the date down. And in my phone, I'm putting, like, if it's a good movie, I'm putting a quick note, or I'm doing like a thumbs up. If it's a bad one, thumbs down, just so I can get a gist of like how I felt about that movie at the time, and maybe upon rewatches, then maybe I'll feel different. But yeah, watching more movies that I've never seen before is such a, I think, and that's been the thing over the past, I'd say, year or so, just like wanting to watch newer films that I've never experienced before. Because I think for me, the movie watching experience now is just, it's about, for me, having this new enjoyable experience. And don't get me wrong, I love going back to films, and I do go back to films in the collection behind me that I've watched over and over again. But for me, sometimes getting that fresh experience, I think, it's such a great feeling when you discover a new film, or like, when I say a new film, a past, like maybe like a movie from the 1980s or 1990s you've never watched before, and then you're like, this could be one of my favorite movies of all time. I love this. I love that feeling, and that's what I want to do more. Just seeing more movies I've never watched before in 2023, and just documenting them to say at the end of the year. I want to go back at the end of the year and go through every list of movies and be like, wow, first of all, I watched that many movies, new movies. That is awesome. Second of all, yeah, I like that one. How did I feel about that one? Because, you get to the end of the year and you're like, I can't remember how I felt about that particular movie. So I want to go back and then feel like, this was good, this was bad, and so on and so forth. But yeah, they are the movie watching goals for 2023. If you enjoyed this episode today, please do give it a like and subscribe to the channel if you're watching on YouTube, and leave a comment below of your thoughts on all of today's quick topics. Let me know all of your views on today's quick topics. What are your movie watching goals for 2023? What's your movie room goals for 2023? Let me know all your thoughts on this, and give me your input in the comments below, ladies and gents. If you're listening to this on a podcast app of your choice as well, please do subscribe to the podcast app and to the podcast on there, and leave a 5-star review. It always helps as well, ladies and gents. But yeah, let me know all your thoughts on today's quick topics. Thank you very much for watching, ladies and gents. Remember to spread a bit of movie cheer, and as always, I will see you next time.